I think we may have talked about Lloyds of London before, but let's discuss it again. You yourself had the policy and were able to collect from it when you retired in 1993, correct?
That is correct.
What?
Yeah, and and I mean, it was no, there was no, anything about it. I mean, I went to I started the thing that, I mean, I was able to get the policy, and the thing where my issue was my neck.
Hmm.
The In the way it started, I mean, I would just take a bump, and I'd get pain that would shoot down my arm like electricity, And what I found out was I was nerves in my neck. I had two herniated discs, two in my neck. And, he said, we can go back in and fuse that. He says, but if you go back and wrestle again, I mean, that's the way we're going to have to, that's what we have to do to fix it. He says, but if you continue to wrestle, he says, and you hurt it again, I mean, there's a chance that, it could leave you paralyzed or worse, So the only thing worse than paralyzed is dead.
Right. And good for you for being able to collect. It sounds like Kurt Hennig was not quite so lucky here. And you had an irrefutable circumstance on your side, so that's great.
Yeah.
Did a lot of wrestlers view Lloyd's as an exit plan? Meaning, eventually in wrestling, everybody's going to get injured, and after investing a lot of money into a policy, maybe some guys were viewing it as their retirement plan.
You know what? I don't know. I really don't. I mean, it's kind of like and I can't remember who told me about it, that they had gone ahead and got that policy. And I said, golly, it's like, that's great. I thought, oh my gosh, well, what a great thing to get if you can get it. And, and I went and I got it. And then as it turned out, a neck injury.
Good investment for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That being said, what kind of investment were you making? Like, what kind of payments were you making to Lloyds of London? I've heard they were pretty crazy.
You know what, Marcus? I couldn't tell you. I can't remember what they were.
It was a long time ago, but I would imagine it's in the thousands per month to be part of that.
I don't know. I really don't.
Well, we're all worked out for you, but man, a guy like Kurt Hennig, who had a legitimate beef, was injured, had been paying into this, and then couldn't collect his $300,000. Obviously, he was still physically fit enough to wrestle because he would go on to wrestle, but still, it's like, kind of goes to show it's, man, kind of a bummer to have insurance sometimes.
Yeah.
If Lloyd's, hypothetically, Ted, if Lloyd's had refused to pay you out like they did with Hennig for whatever reason, do you think you would have continued to wrestle after you recovered from your neck surgery?
No. I mean, it's kind of like when the doctor tells you, this, if you keep messing with this could leave you partially paralyzed or I guess if something cut off, I don't know if that was even possible, but, I don't know if he meant dead, but there's nothing much worse than being paralyzed, or just not able to, and to come to find out that became a common injury. I mean, I think Jake had the same thing.
Yep, sure did. And I'm sure you guys weren't the only ones that get necks fused and have to go through that whole thing. It does kind of make you wonder about Kurt Hennig, though. If he had received this payout from Lloyds of London, he would have stopped wrestling. He passed away in 2003. A lot of it was drug use. I don't know how much of that drug use had to do with the fact that he was in severe pain.
Yeah, I don't either.
Man, could have prolonged his life possibly if he had stepped away from wrestling and started becoming an announcer.
Yeah.
So it's a shame, man.